100%. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another English Brazil international discussion. And again, I'm definitely not as pretty as Simone, but she's asked me to host. So hopefully you bear with me. And I've invited a very, very good friend of mine. Antonio and I go way back to 2019 when he had to take over all the maintenance from a new building that was built badly, very badly. And through the years, we've adopted a good friendship. So he's not only qualified in quite a few fields, but I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and then expose himself to all the questions that you'll have for him. Tony, please go ahead.
Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. As Mr. Richard has said, we've known each other for many years, and it hasn't all been business. Over the years, it became a good friendship, and in Cape Town, that is very hard to find because people here don't like making friends. It's a weird town, but once you live here, you learn to love it. I'm not originally from Cape Town. I'm actually from Johannesburg. And I moved here 14 years ago for some studies and work. And in the first year that I moved here to Cape Town, I met my wife. And so there was no going back, even if I wanted to. And but yeah, it's been lovely, and we've been together ever since, and married and all that. So I've enjoyed my journey and my experience here in Cape Town, and the whole sort of, I don't even actually know, but just making this my home has been quite an interesting endeavor over the last few years. So enjoying it. What I do to keep myself busy, I guess the building and the engineering trade isn't as interesting and as exciting as what the people who are in there think it is, but otherwise it's good. Keeps me out of trouble, and you learn things and challenges every day that keep us, I suppose, young and on top of things. Other than that, it's been the weather here is absolutely shocking. So my signal keeps going, and that's Cape Town, all the seasons in one day. My sister lived in Brazil for about 3 years. Funny enough, she moved there, got married there, and then moved back to South Africa about a year and a half ago. And now she currently lives in Malta. So she's traveling and enjoying life as she can. I don't know exactly where in Brazil. I had recently moved to Cape Town when she moved to Brazil, so it was difficult to catch up and find out all the information, and we sort of grew apart over that time. But since she moved back, we've sort of reconnected, and it's been very good. We initially were raised as quite a close family, so it's nice to connect with your siblings down the line once they've already found their way in their little part of life, I guess.
Andaliso, I see you've got a question already. Sorry, Tony. Andaliso's already starting with he's already pulled the trigger.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Pleased to meet you. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Antonio. So my name is not Bruce, as Richard said. My name is Adelilson Braga. I don't think you know how to spell my name. I think so because you have a Portuguese background. So my name is Adelilson Braga. Braga, because it is a Portuguese last name. Let's talk a little bit about your Portuguese background. Your name, I can see that is Antonio Peixoto. It's a Portuguese name. Please tell us a little bit about your Portuguese ascendance. Your family, and
yes.
When did you move to South Africa, and if you were born in Portugal or not?
So my father is originally from Porto. Him and his family moved to South Africa when he was about 7 years old, and obviously he never left, and then met my mother, who is South African, and I had 4 beautiful kids with it's it was actually 5 of us altogether, so it's quite a big family, a lot of kids. No TV.
Are your mother also Portuguese?
No. She's South African, but she speaks better Portuguese than what I do.
And do you speak Portuguese then?
I used to. Unfortunately, in Cape Town, the main language is Afrikaans, and so it's very difficult to find other Portuguese people. But in Joburg, Johannesburg, especially in the south of Johannesburg, you can call it mini Portugal. There's more Portuguese people per square meter than there are bricks on the pavement. So
what he means to say, Adeli, so there's more shops per square meter than anything else.
You can
really?
you can get chicken and cabbage every 2 meters.
And you said in your short video that you lived in the countryside, right?
Yes, I live in Stellenbosch, which is basically one country.
Would you please type it so I can share with you guys the place?
Okay, give me a second, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, Stellenbosch over here. Stellenbosch.
Let me copy here.
So I enjoy the country. I don't really like traffic. I don't like houses on top of houses. I like the open space and the air, and mountains and forests and things. That's what I enjoy. I've spent a large part of my childhood going to the ocean, so I know exactly what it looks like.
Do you have an idea how many people live in this city?
In Stellenbosch?
Yeah.
How many people live there? No, not too sure. I mean, it's a small town within the Western Cape. So, and I mean, it's joined to a lot of other. It's not too. Everything is quite close in terms of 25 minutes. In all directions, you will get to your next town or your next place. I suppose the one next door.
A lot of churches.
Yeah, so if you compare it to Brazil, if you look at an area like Sao Paulo, for instance, anything towards the mountainous areas, the countryside, say an hour's drive to an hour, 40 minutes drive, it's almost exactly the same type of setup.
Yeah.
So it's actually a student university town. To be honest, it's more. The entire town is built around the university.
What is this building here?
It could be one of the various faculty buildings, from the philosophy building to the accounting building to the science to the building, biology. Each different building has got something to do with the university. So at any given time, the streets are just paved with students walking to and from lectures. Obviously, there's a lot of student accommodation within the town. And then everything around it is wine country. So there's a lot of wine makers and anyone who would obviously who's aspiring to become a winemaker or anything to do with the wine industry, you can also study and find out here in Stellenbosch. So I don't need to study the wine. I just like to taste it.
Yeah, no, we all do. All the South Africans tend to just taste wine. So
Yes, no, it's a cultural thing, and it's mandatory.
I saw some churches. What is the main religion in South Africa?
The main, I suppose, it would be Christianity. But I mean, we are such a diverse culture, and especially in Cape Town. Cape Town would probably be the arts and culture capital of South Africa.
Yeah.
So you would find a lot more diversity in terms of religion here, scattered all the way around the Western Cape.
Yeah, a big part of Cape Town, just to interject there, a big part of Cape Town is actually Islam, and that's due to
Yes.
the Dutch East India trade. So a lot of the what they would call the Cape Coloured or the Malay Cape are Muslim. But where Tony is, Stellenbosch, the areas like Franschhoek, Stellenbosch, Paul, religion is predominantly Christian because of the Dutch heritage
Yes.
from that area. So you'll find Christianity is a very, very strong religion out that area.
Okay. Thank you for your answers. Thanks so much.
I know Zhao has been dying to ask a question. I've been sitting and watching him there for a while now. And his hand is always looks like it's going up.
Oh yeah, I was a little bit wild. Okay, but my question is about your name, Mr. Antonio. Your last name, Peixoto. I know a lot of people from Portugal, and they have this kind of name, Peixoto. Is that has some strong meaning? Do you want to share with us?
To my knowledge, the surname sort of ties in with a direct translation of king fisherman, and I can assure you I'm not a king fisherman. I have tried. I do try, but it's this big, it's that big. How does the saying go? Yeah, there's massive fish. Yeah, no. Something to do with peixe, P-E-I-X. That's obviously fish. So
yeah.
The rest of the surname or fisherman, maybe it just means fisherman. I'm not too sure. My father didn't exactly push the family heritage and culture onto us. He's not that thorough into the Portuguese community as, say, what some of my other friends would have been when, growing up, especially at the age of 30, or from the age of about 6 all the way to the age of 16, you would go to Portuguese school where you would learn about Portuguese heritage, culture, and all that, and the language, especially how to read and write in Portuguese, on top of going to normal school. So I would have loved to have done that, but it just didn't happen. So it was very, if you wanted to know Portuguese or speak it or know anything about it, you would have to be involved in the community, which we were mainly, obviously, growing up, more social and more cultural, sort of cultural gatherings and things like that that was my exposure to the culture, and I guess that's how it. But no Portuguese school, unfortunately.
Good. Just going forward, culture aspect. I mean, you are in Cape Town for 5 years. 5 years, right?
14.
Oh, 14. Oh, too long.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was like the cultural shock? Sport out to you, that stand out to you from the moment you got to South Africa?
Well, I was born in South Africa, but there is a major culture or cultural difference between Johannesburg and Western Cape. It's like night and day. I found that it makes a big difference when people around you are more in touch with nature and the outside life, the environment around them. I mean, this is a big destination for hiking, tourism, outdoor events, and things like that, where Johannesburg really isn't the same. It's high walls, electric fencing. security. But that's the way we were brought up. And you stay in congested areas with a lot of housing, and the only parks that you see or anything to do with that would either be on major excursions or if there was a public park within the community that you lived in. But when you move to the Western Cape, everybody here lives basically outside. The house is not, people's homes are not the most important thing to them as it is in say, Johannesburg. People live to be outside here in the Western Cape, and then that brings obviously a massive togetherness with the people that are living here, because they're very passionate about the Western Cape, where in Johannesburg, people tend to be sort of colder, yet they are more friendly.
Okay.
They are much more friendly. They're much more friendly.
Okay. Thank you, Tony.
My pleasure.
No.
I think Gladwin had a question for you, Tony.
Yes.
If he's still Gladwin, you still have a question? Oh, he's left. Yeah, Tony, I think it's interesting. And it's also touch on your career experience. What do you do every day? And I'm sure the team is dying to know what Tony actually does, because you touched on the engineering and the construction side of it, but I think it'd be quite interesting to let everybody know.
Well, funny enough, I actually studied film, and I studied directing and script writing, but engineering is the family business. And so once I left university, I helped my dad out in the interim while I was looking to get into the game, and found a liking to that and ended up staying with that instead of going into the filming industry.
You see, I didn't know that. Now, one day he looks like an actor all the time, people.
It's just because of the good lighting here in Cape Town. And then once I was obviously working with my father for a few years before I moved here. And when I got here, I was still in engineering, but then I decided to try my hand at television and commercial and things like that. And it was very interesting, but it's a seasonal job. If for anyone that's inside that industry, it's seasonal, and 6 months of the year you're very busy, and then the other 6 months of the year you kind of just drifting, which does not work for anybody trying to get into the industry. So it was a choice that I had to make, and so I went back into the engineering and construction industry, and so here I am. But I wouldn't mind going back into the film industry. It's quite interesting, especially here in the Western Cape.
Yeah, definitely. Gladwin, I see you had a question.
Thank you, Richard. It was more when we were basically talking about the religion. So,
okay.
Yes, when you're looking at Stellenbosch, the dominating religion is Christianity, which is then followed up by some Hinduism and Islam. And then I wanted to ask him, in terms of keeping up with Stellenbosch, because it's predominantly one of the wealthiest suburbs in the Western, in Cape Town, after Constantia. So how are you keeping up with? And it's in terms of crime, it's not predominantly a very high, criminal area. So how are you keeping up in terms of the rates, municipal rates, and all of that? Because a number of people that I've associated with, they said to me they had to leave because they couldn't keep up with the rates.
Well, Stellenbosch is obviously an expensive area to live in, but definitely by far not the most expensive. See, the thing about Stellenbosch is that it's a lot of it is old money and properties that were passed down generations and generations. So there's not many new sort of, I would say, millionaires coming into the frame. But the closer you get to CBD, central Cape Town, that would be the most expensive place to live, obviously, because it's closer to the ocean. So Stellenbosch really isn't that bad. I wouldn't say that Stellenbosch, it's more expensive to live in, it's actually cheaper to live in Stellenbosch than it is to live in Sea Point.
Oh, thank you. That's quite interesting. But I think it also depends on which part of Stellenbosch are you talking about. But nonetheless, how far are you from Mr. Johan Rupert?
No, he's my neighbor. He's my neighbor. I actually just lent him some sugar yesterday.
For those that don't know, Johan Rupert is quite a prominent figure in South Africa. He was the one that was in the White House with President Trump not so long ago, having a discussion with President Trump in President Trump's inaccuracies of South Africa. So that's why we have a laugh about it. Johan Rupert's a very wealthy man in South Africa. He actually owns lots. Let's just put it that way.
Well, yeah, he basically helped develop Stellenbosch to what it is today, and many of the other suburbs around and the greater part of the Western Cape.
Are there any more questions for Tony? Particularly, I didn't know about his film industry. I'll be honest, and I know him for many years because we share a passion for golf. We're both terrible at it, so that's our passion for golf. We are horrible golfers, so we don't talk about that. So you can ask him anything else, though.
You've said that we're horrible twice. I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. We are not that bad. We are not that bad. It's a work in progress, just like any other sport. And with regards to my film industry experience, I promise you, it was nothing untoward. However brief that it was.
Are there any other questions that you'd like to offer, Tony? Go for it, Joe.
Let's hear it.
Yes, Tony, my second question is about social service. How do people in your region are engaged in charity, civic engagement? How people get...
Well, it depends on, obviously, where you are, or what are you asking about? Obviously, volunteers in the area.
Sure.
Are there volunteers?
Sure.
I see community projects happening a lot. It's not as much in terms of development as it is more in terms of actually helping people. So there are a lot of night shelters, and there's new ones opening up in the areas. More and more donation shops that are opening up a lot more. More that at least in the last, I've only been in Stellenbosch, say, for 4 years, and in the 4 years in this area alone, I've seen 3 night shelters being developed, and a lot of a good couple of donation stores, because obviously homelessness is a major issue, and people in this area, I think in the greater Western Cape, not just in this area. This is just what I've seen here, but I think in the larger part of Western Cape, it's probably a lot bigger than, to my knowledge. But it is a community-driven province, and especially during the pandemic time, Cape Town really outshined a lot of the rest of, or I would say definitely the rest of South Africa in terms of how we helped homeless people in need. Everyone got together, and it was more on a volunteer basis of people just caring. And this goes back to what I was saying about how the people in the Western Cape care a lot about the Western Cape and the greater good of the Western Cape. So they do feel sort of a calling to community projects help whenever. I mean, you can't believe the amount of help that comes when we have. Every year we go through a season where it's very dry, very windy, and we get a lot of fires. The list of volunteers that jump in to help from all over, to help the firefighters, to help the families, to animals, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't. You wouldn't normally find that anywhere else, and it's just a testament to how quickly, and because Cape Town, although
So I think we've lost the signal there.
No.
Yeah,
I've still got signal.
disconnection.
There we
That's
go.
good.
Now we've got you back again.
No problem. Yeah, there's a lot of smaller communities that really care, not just about the immediate area that they live in, but about the areas surrounding them and other people. And I mean, it is because it's a small town. You've got families scattered everywhere, and you've got friends. You know, especially the people that have been here, that have grown up here, that have been raised. And they know their neighbors, neighbors, and things. And so it grows. And everybody's always willing to help.
Oh, good.
You don't find many people here who are not willing to help, and I think it's just because of the attitude of the people. It's like I say, it's quite weird because it's sort of an oxymoron. Everybody wants to help, but nobody wants to be your friend at the same time. So they don't mind doing what needs to be done, but don't ask them for anything more than that.
Oh, lovely, lovely. How about ONGs? ONGs, I mean, non-profit organizations. Are there some?
There's plenty.
Okay.
There are, I mean, we actually have one of the weirdest non-profit organizations, which is the Horse Cart Association in Cape Town. I don't know how many countries have that, where you have horses pulling carts, and those horses are manned and looked after by other homeless people who go around collecting weird things like rubbish, trash, scrap metal, things like that on their horses, and they're in the traffic on the highways. I mean, like it's the wild west. Yet the horses are taken care of by NGOs that really care more about the horses than anything else. And I don't know if you know anything about horse therapy, but horse therapy is very good, not just for terminally ill patients, but it's also very good for troubled teens and things like that. So it sort of gives these young kids who have nothing something to care about, something to worry about, something to feel responsible for. So that's just one of the examples, which I think is very good. I like the horse therapy. I don't necessarily like horses in the streets. I do like horses, and I believe horses should all be in the field, not walking through on hot tar all day. But they are looked after, they are cared for, and it is regulated. And at the end of the day, the horse's health is just as important as the health of the kids that look after the horses. So it's quite a nice initiative that they started many years ago.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
John. Thanks,
Ton.
Tony.
Good.
Yeah, Maria, we've got a question from Maria.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Antonio. I think that you said in your introduction video that you now live on a farm. Is that correct?
Yes.
You
Well,
live on a farm, right? Okay.
it's basically what we call a plot. It used to be an equestrian farm, but over the years, the horses have disappeared. So it's a massive piece of ground with a lot of lake or dams and things, but unfortunately, there's no actual farming happening over here. Although I've tried, but my green thumb is terrible.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you if you ever lived in like apartment, and if so, how different is living on a farm compared to like living in a tower block in an apartment?
I haven't lived in an apartment. I've lived in what we call a townhouse, and then a very congested suburb. And I'll put it to you this way: I feel like I can breathe when I'm here. I don't have a wall on my left or a wall on my right or a wall in the front of me. I have open air and open sky, and I suppose that's what helps. It helps me manage my massive anxiety issues and things like that, because I mean, when I'd rather hear the birds making noise, which they do, and all the frogs in the dam, than hearing the hooter of a car or the sound of traffic or the sound of my neighbor screaming at somebody or something like that. So, but it is lovely. And the good thing about it is that it's not too isolated. I think if it was very isolated, it would be a very different sort of picture. But currently where I am is uniquely situated, and the main I suppose the win for it is the open space, the open air, the green everywhere you look. Just it feels like I'm more in touch with my environment living here than I would be living in an apartment, which helps me to ground myself and just help you to relax, I guess, and get your mind sort of into a more free flow, more open to suggestion kind of state on a daily basis.
Okay,
I hope that
that's
helps.
lovely. Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Really, we got another question there. Go for it. Is it Mile here? Is it Claudia?
Yes.
Yeah,
Claudia.
go for it. Sorry, yeah.
So the question I have is to follow up on the farm living. Do you do any gardening, anything in the farm that is relaxing for you and you enjoy the farm, or just like living there because that's where your house is? But do you do anything different than living like in the town home or in a city?
Yes, definitely. I spend a lot of time in the garden, obviously trying to landscape it to make it look as pretty as possible. I like to collect a lot of things, pot plants, stones, pebbles, things like that, to try and obviously decorate it. I have tried to grow some vegetables. It was a failed attempt, but I'm not gonna be discouraged. At some point, I will eat vegetables that I grew that myself.
Claudia, he's definitely not. I can guarantee he hasn't tried to grow anything illegal yet. I promise you. I'm sure he hasn't tried to grow any cannabis or.
No. I'm struggling just to keep the cactus alive. So it's at this point, it's a work in progress. But I promise you, I'm getting there. I'm getting better at this. I can't call myself Portuguese if I can't grow my own cabbage.
Great one. Anybody else? Please go for it, people. Raise your hands. Tony's open to questions.
I would like to
Thanks,
ask
Richard.
Antonio, about the population in South Africa. Is it the vast majority Black people or white people?
Well, you got to go with the majority of the population. So the majority population currently stands as Black people being the greater portion of the population living in South Africa. Currently, I think white people are the minority. I would be lying to you if I had to try and give accurate statistics. But I can tell you with certainty that Black people are the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are obviously local, though. That is another story for another day.
Okay. Thank you.
Edwin, you have another question. Go for it.
All right, thanks, Richard. I just want to, firstly, before I ask my question, I want to say that I think in terms of the statistics that there was a census survey that was done. So South Africa consists of about like 62 million people. And out of that, 82%, if I'm not mistaken, 82% are African people or classified as black people. Yeah, I think it's between 82 and 3. And then in Cape Town, okay, let's talk now nationally. That's like 83%. And then you will actually have your white people, and then you will actually have your Indian people, and then you'll have your colored people. However, in Cape Town, where he is from, the majority of the people are referred to as colored people. Colored people, or yeah, that's just how the demographics that we are using, you know, in terms of classification. That's I was just touching base on that in terms of the demographics. But my question then to Antonio, I've picked up that you've got a very good command of English, and the earlier stages you've got a background of Portuguese. What are the other languages that you've got proficiencies in speaking, in particular when it comes to Cape Town?
I can tell you it has been a 14-year struggle for me to learn Afrikaans. It is, my wife is Afrikaans, and so it is very obviously frustrating for her. As they say, ek ken mos. So that basically loosely translates to I can sort of understand what they're saying. If they speak slow enough for me to understand. So basically they would have to speak to me like I'm a 6-year-old child in order for me to sort of follow the language, because it is such a they speak it so fast. And there's also 3 different kinds of Afrikaans here in Cape Town. It's not just one standard Afrikaans. I think there might even be 4 kinds of Afrikaans here. So I do, and the people in this town, if they know Afrikaans, they will speak to you in Afrikaans, and you can reply to them in English, and they will speak to you back in Afrikaans. So if you don't have a just understanding, you will probably leave the store with everything you didn't go there to get.
Absolutely, you're right. Thank you so much.
Sherazad, you've got a question for Tony? Yeah.
Thanks again. So, Tony, I wanted to ask a 2-part question. You did mention that there's some things that are free in South Africa and some that aren't. Firstly, on grants, does the government give grants to people in South Africa? And secondly, is the medicals free in South Africa?
Yes, they do. There are the register. If you register and you are eligible for it, you do get the government grants. It's not a hell of a lot of money in comparison to what the cost of living is, and how much higher it goes almost every month, it seems like. Medical care, you can go to a state hospital and get free medical care. It will not be the best care in some cases, but in some cases it'll be equivalent to what you would get in a private hospital, just because the doctors are so well trained and knowledgeable. But then the downside for that is the waiting list. You know, it sometimes can take quite some time to process a lot of patients that are coming in for free. There's a lot of people. I mean, if you fall down, say for example you're a homeless person, you fall and break your foot, you can go to the government hospital and they will put your foot, reset it and put it in a cast and send you on your way. It just might take longer than what it would take, for example, at a private hospital, but it is possible. It's definitely possible, and it definitely happens all the time. It's just unfortunate that you have to wait so long.
With the waiting, how long does it take more or less, like approximately?
So I'll give another example. There was an elderly man that worked for me many years ago, and he ended up, I think he had lung cancer. And he would then only be able to see a specialist once a month. Where if you were at a private hospital or if you had medical aid, I would suppose you would be able to see your physician as many times as your medical aid would allow you to. So, he would have to wait quite some time just to get an appointment with that doctor, as that doctor obviously has a lot of other patients. So the waiting period can fall anything between 3 weeks to a month.
Thanks a lot for clearing that.
Actually, Rizal, it's actually a very interesting question because South Africa is at the moment trying to sort out its medical issues through having a national health insurance. Basically on the model that the US had and the model that UK had. But our public hospitals are in such a state of disrepair, not all of them. Not all of them. In the Western Cape, we've got a hospital called Groote Schuur, which was where the first heart transplant was done in the world. And it's in fact, you'd rather go to Groote Schuur Hospital before you go to a private hospital because of the service and the quality of service you get there. The other one we have is called Somerset Hospital in the Western Cape. Extremely efficient. And they deal mainly with the gunshot wounds. A lot of the medical, in fact, we have a lot of Brazilian doctors that are here, that come and study here, particularly for that, for trauma and main trauma. And they based at Groote Schuur and Somerset Hospital for that. So it's a brilliant question. Yeah, anybody else have questions for Tony? Please go for it.
Can I ask about nature, about fauna in South Africa? Okay. What is the most different kind of animal that you can find only in South Africa and you cannot find in any place in the world?
The Dutchman.
Type, please. Please type so I can share with others, please.
No, I'm just pulling your leg. That's basically an Afrikaans man.
Yeah, yeah.
The common Afrikaans man, mostly found at this side of the world of Cape Town. The most unique animal found in Cape Town, I would be a Mr.
Wouldn't that be the Dussie?
The rock Dussie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the most rarest.
I'm also not sure.
It's the
predominantly in Cape Town.
We must have
the
reptiles.
The what, Gladwin?
Bontebok. You can't find that anywhere in the world
except
South Africa.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, type
you
please so I can share.
Anywhere.
So I can share. Gladwin, please type on the chat box so I can.
Or the Cape Kudu, I suppose.
I can
yeah.
I'm gonna.
We have a little thing that runs up on Table Mountain that's behind me here. Let me just get up, and we call it a Dussie. But it's a tiny little rock rabbit. I don't know what it is. But it's the closest relative to the elephant.
To the elephant.
Yes, it is. Its bone structure is identical to an elephant.
But it looks
except in a smaller version. I promise you.
Let me share Bontebok.
Bontebok, there we go.
Bontebok.
I suppose we also have the Cape horseshoe.
There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You can't find that anyway. You'll only find it here.
I can guarantee you at some point this has been turned into biltong.
But people usually eat like meat, like they
it's
eat
dried, dried meat. In America they call it beef jerky.
Yes.
In South Africa we call it biltong. So they would hang the meat up, you cure it, and it turns into salt. It turns into dry meat. We call it biltong. It's a South African delicacy. We love it. We eat tons of it.
What is the animal that you told, Richard, please?
It's usually from a buck, from a sort of deer, either a kudu, or a duiker.
But please type.
Game.
So.
Well,
It's game, yeah. It's usually hunted, and then it's hung up and to cure for a few days, and then you skin it and you make biltong out of it, or dried meat.
You are not selling this, Mr. Rich. You're not selling.
I know, yeah, but it's lovely stuff. I promise you. I'll send you some I promise you.
It's like a jerked beef.
Beef jerky, exactly.
Yeah, jerky beef. Yeah. Richard, you told about a kind of animal that people can find on the top of a.
Yeah, it's called a dussie.
Dussie, please type.
While he's typing,
Cape Grace. Cape Grace.
The Cape Grace Bog.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
You'll definitely find that, yeah. In fact, we've got a few of these in our area. I'm pretty sure I've seen some
you
of these.
Have a cloak as well.
Bakers.
A cape. Yeah.
Now, in terms of hunting these rare breeds, you pay a little bit extra, and if you happen to hunt it successfully, you cannot take it with you, even though you paid for it, but you're not allowed to take it with you.
Yeah.
What kind of animal do you grow in the farm, Antonio? Chicken, pigs?
No, nothing. We have a lot of animals that my cats like to bring into the house. Anything from birds to snakes. This week alone.
But do you? I think he got
this week alone I've had 2 snakes.
Okay. Do you have horses, cows, and pigs? No.
No, nothing yet. Nothing now. Like I said, this used to be a horse farm, and my wife, she loves horses. She rides horses, but her horse is on a different farm, but not too far from where we are now. But yeah, there used to be. Well, there are chickens on the. The farm is divided into 2 sections. We all stay, myself and whoever else on this farm stay on one half, and the other half there's a nursery school there for kids, but it's themed for a barnyard, and in the barnyard there are chickens everywhere, and goats. Yes, there's goats there as well. Sorry guys, I see my battery is about to. When you just relocate where there's a battery charger. Yeah, goats and chickens, those are the only things that are on this property.
João, send him some sample of the guinea fowl. Guinea fowl.
We've got plenty here. We can send those to Joe. that should be the national bird.
Yeah.
But they are protected in most of the areas that they come from.
Yeah, they are protected. Yeah. You can't do anything with them at the moment.
If you drive over one, it's actually you can get fined for that.
Yeah.
My wife's already hit 3 of them.
It's a natural alarm. Let me share another animal here. Cape leopard.
Oh, the Cape leopard.
The Cape leopard.
Absolutely.
What
That
about
one belongs to Cape Town.
What is a hardy dog called? Is it a hardy dog? Is that how you
No,
say
it's
it?
not. That's we. Yeah. I don't think it's that. It's actually its name. We call it I think we call it a hardy duck. Is it not a? It's not a crane.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I have cranes here on the farm, and we had a peacock here not so long ago.
hardy dog. It actually is a hardy dog, Tony. It is.
You
It's one of
don't
the most irritating birds ever, though.
you don't get more South
Yes,
African than that.
Those noisy birds.
Ever. Yeah.
That's the Cape
The
leopard.
bird we're talking about underneath, so the rest of the group, it actually makes the sound hardy-da. And it's loud.
Yeah, it's obnoxious, and that
Yeah.
bird normally makes a noise when you're on a phone call. It
Yeah.
just knows. Terrible things. Terrible things. And you know, they're actually riddled with diseases, and that their excrement is actually harmful to animals, other animals, any other animal.
Yeah, South Africa is also well known for one of the few countries that still has the Big Five. In one area, most of it. Most of the countries you won't find the Big Five anymore.
No, and I mean, there's a lot of parks that have all these in
Yeah.
very close proximity, which are nice to see, but they're only there because it's dangerous for them to be out on their own. Yeah, the leopard. We've definitely we went away for a weekend, and we were braaiing and having a great time until late hours of the evening. And then when we got back on the Monday, the owner of the lodge that we were at sent us the video footage, and there were leopards just outside where we were in the dark the whole night. Very lucky. Very, very lucky.
Annalisa, you're on mute. You're on mute there.
Okay. I
There we
was
go.
asking if they attack people or only if they are hungry.
No,
Do they attack people?
they've been known to attack hikers. As Table Mountain and the mountains around Table Mountain are very popular for tourists for hiking and or other outdoor activities. There have been it's not a very common thing, but it's definitely has happened. People have definitely been attacked or at least come very close to being attacked by the Cape leopard. It's definitely not scared of humans. And most of the time, humans would be in the territory of that leopard. So, I guess if you were in there, you would be very unlucky. But I don't know how many reports there are of Cape leopards killing people. I suppose in Cape Town you would get more. You would have
Baboon
more
attacks than leopard attacks.
baboon but I read somewhere that more people die from cows a year than what they would from shark attacks. So since we are here in farm country, and there's a lot of cows here. I mean, there's cows right next door to me. If I look out of my kitchen window, I'm looking straight onto a cattle farm. So I could be potentially staring death in the face. Death by cow.
Something before we closing is that Tony that failed. He shared it in the beginning, but other than the farming, he comes from an area very, very prominent with wines. Stellenbosch is such an area well known for wines, award-winning wines, some of the best in the world. So it's always good to So if you ever get a chance, and you get a chance to, if you enjoy wine and good wines, Stellenbosch is very well known. Gavin, I see you had a
fortunate to taste many of them, and I can tell you a few which are the best.
Thanks, Richard. When it comes to the Cape leopard, Tony is right. In most cases, they wouldn't be where there's density of population, and wherever they are, there will be signs. However, they are not, predominantly predatory in their own nature unless provoked. So once you have provoked it, it comes to you, guns blazing, it attacks. But if you remain standing still, it just passes by you. It won't, but don't provoke it.
Play
And don't
that.
provoke any man from Cape Town.
Or just make sure you go hiking with someone who can't run as fast as you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's been brilliant, Tony. Thank you so much for doing this for us. I think it was quite enlightening and lots of fun as well. Especially hearing your background stuff that I didn't even know. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and we know each other for a long time. I didn't even know it. So I truly appreciate the time.
Secrets, Mr. Rich. I've got secrets. Just ask. I will tell you about these things.
Including that dubious film industry. I'm not going to go into detail what the films were. We'll leave that to everybody's imagination. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate the time, and everybody else for taking the time as well. Truly appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Lovely to meet you all.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Antonio.
Thanks, Annalisa. Thanks,
Hope
for
have a
Take care. Have a
great
good one.
week ahead, guys. God bless.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao. Bye.